This is the pattern. Copy the size you're interested in. I'm going to use a fabric which is an old drapes. It's a cotton fabric, woven, and you need some small buttons and fusible interfacing. I have folded the fabric in the grain line so I can fit the back pattern. You need to fold it like this to get the back pattern. Place it on fold, add 1 centimeter in seam allowance and cut. The collar should also be cut on the fold, and do this 2 times. Add 1 centimeter in seam allowance. Here you see the sleeve and the fabric is double. Add seam allowance. To get the front pattern you need to change the pattern. Unfold it like this and cut away this piece. The fabric is double and you pin it in the grain line. Add 1 centimeter in seam allowance. It's important that you make notches. You want to know where the folding line is, where center front, and where the color should go, and so on. Make small notches in the seam allowance. When you have cut all the pieces, I zigzag around all the pieces on the edge. You need to add fusible interfacing to one of the colors. Always protect your iron with some pattern paper. I also put some at the front where I should fold it and make buttonholes. Now you lay the front and back right sides together and pin the shoulders, so with 1 centimeter in seam allowance. As you work along, you should iron the seam allowances apart. Lay the color pieces right sides together and sew the outer edge with 1 centimeter in seam allowance and a straight stitch. Then you cut away any excess fabric and you turn the right sides out. Use something so you can get all the edges neat and tidy. Press it. Pin the collar with the nice side up and right sides together, and as you can see I have folded this edge so it goes over the collar, and then you sew with 1 centimeter in seam allowance and a straight stitch, and you can sew a zigzag stitch on the seam allowance. Now you can turn this piece out, right sides out, and press it. Sew the sides together on the shirt and on the sleeve. Pin the arm in the armhole, right sides together. The sleeve should feel a little bit bigger than the armhole. That's just about how it should be. And you sew around it. I hem the sleeve by pressing in 1.5 centimeter, and then I sew with a nice straight stitch. At the bottom of the shirt I hem with a double hem, 1 centimeter, and then I fold 1 centimeter again. At the front you have a folding line where you should fold the front piece, and then you hem it with a straight stitch. Make sure that the front pieces are the same length. And now you can also sew a nice top stitch all around the shirt. Now it's time to make buttonholes and sew in the buttons. And once you have pressed the shirt, it is finished.